Shoot, I knew you could do it, Steeler. Just giving you a hard time is all. Quote, Clutch, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Volume 1, Issue 3. Following a successful raid on a Cobra stronghold, the cleanup process commences, necessitating the treatment of the wounded. Amidst the aftermath, a notable prize emerges, a robot captured during the mission. Breaker reports that Snake Eyes skillfully eliminated numerous Cobra troops without relying on a firearm, while Rock and Roll inflicted damage to the console for the captured robot. Informed of the impending arrival of the three trucks camouflaged as mail trucks, Breaker emphasized the importance of getting the robot back to the G.I. Joe compound known as the Pit. He requests preliminary scans to be conducted and instructs Breaker to cease chewing his gum. The trucks have been loaded with the first truck carrying prisoners and the second truck transporting the captured robots. Scarlett and Hawk will travel in the third truck alongside the wounded, while Steeler accompanies the Cobra robot in the journey. This has been Cobra Commander's strategic plan all along, a calculated move to sacrifice soldiers and a base in exchange for infiltrating the G.I. Joe's secret base with the Trojan Gambit robot. The trucks speed through the roads, passing over the iconic Verrazano Bridge and traveling through Staten Island as they head toward their destination at the Pit. From the outside, the pit appears to be normal setting, but beneath the chaplain's assistant school in Fort Wadesworth, it serves as a covert and secure base for the G.I. Joe team. The base boasts multiple levels, with the first floor housing an array of heavily artillery tanks, trucks, and ample ammunition to support the G.I. Joe team's military operations. The pit consists of numerous levels, and the Cobra robot is making its way down one of them. One advantage of the pit is that on the lower levels, radiation will not pose a threat to the surroundings. The bottom levels of the pit include living quarters, computers, generators, and a life support system, all concealed and protected by automatic blast doors. Despite potential threats, these lower levels continue to function with a completely favorable survival system. The G.I. Joes recognize the potential threat of booby traps, expresses fear and caution, so they engage in a thorough inspection, meticulously checking for anything particular or potentially dangerous within the captured robot. The scans reveal no signs of bombs, electronic devices, chemicals, or any explosives within the captured robot. The G.I. Joes, reassured by the findings, conclude that they are dealing with a seemingly inert and non-threatening robot. Hawk and Scarlett plan to host a social tea at the chaplain's assistant, set in the motor pool upstairs. Emphasizing the need to maintain cover, they instruct Snake Eyes, Flash, and Stalker to gather all weapons and store them in the storage room, while the other Joes, including Berserker, are free to enjoy breakfast with the directive to keep noise levels low. 1 hour later, 6 levels higher, Scarlett and Hawk successfully host the social tea party. Hawk lightens the move with a joke, saying, "Well, ma'am, when we're not driving the Padre to the chapel, we're out hunting down international terrorists." The humor resonates with everyone present. Meanwhile, the tempting aroma of bacon eggs from the lower level wafts through the vents, adding a delightful fragrancy to the atmosphere. 5 levels down in the pit's canteen, Steeler and Breaker are busy preparing breakfast. 6 levels down in the armory rooms, Snake Eyes, Flash, and Stalker are diligently putting away and cleaning the weapons, ensuring everything is in order for the upcoming missions. Cobra Commander elaborate plan involves a sleeper robot in the G.I. Joe's Commander Center. Unbeknownst to the Joes, the robot has a chemical timer in its right hand set to activate in 30 seconds. Once the sleeper robot leaves the command center, it can put up a signal revealing its current location, adding a layer of complexity to the Cobra's covert strategy. Cobra Commander emphasized the need for the facility to be both radio and ray shielded, along with thorough blast shielding. However, he notes the blast shielding is blocking the signal. The Joes, to enhance security, insist on automatic blast doors between all levels and compartments. The central computer program for activating these blast doors must be simplified and following a recognizable pattern. Cobra Command anticipates that when their robot hand discovers this pattern, it will provide a critical advantage in breaching the facility. Cobra Commander outlines a strategy for the sleeper robot, including that it will scan the sensors to identify all occupied sectors. Once detected, the plan involves closing the blast doors, including the armory door, to restrict movement and secure areas within the facility. Following the closure of the armory doors, the plan proceeds with the canteen doors shutting shutting tightly, effectively locking the Joes and limiting their ability to move freely within the facility. Cobra Commander is well aware of the plan's progression. Once all the blast doors are secretly closed, the robot hand will activate its other components, signaling the initiation of Phase 3 in Cobra's strategic plan. Initially concerned, Steeler questions Clutch's tinkering with the access plate. Clutch reassures Steeler, explaining that if there were any issues, alarms would have sounded first. He attributes the situation to a potential computer glitch. Clutch points without a crowbar or pipe wrench, they won't be able to budge the blast doors. He advises Steeler to sit tight and wait for assistance. Steeler remains skeptical about the computer foul-up explanation, suspecting foul play. Determined to uncover the truth, he decides to take the matters into his own hands. The blast door, which weighs over 200 pounds, will become a formidable challenge. Undeterred, Steeler removes his shirt and with sheer determination successfully accomplishes the task, determined to get to the bottom of the mysterious situation. In the arms rooms, the primary concern is to find a way to escape. While heavy machinery and powerful weapons could potentially knock the door down, the resulting blast might pose a lethal risk to everyone inside. Considering the potential danger, using the laser rifle is proposed as a solution. However, the challenge lies in avoiding oxygen depletion caused by the laser rifle. The ingenious idea emerges to use the laser rifle on low power, focusing his energy on the lock mechanism to facilitate a safer and controlled escape. Flash takes charge and prepares to take the shot, while Stalker and Snake Eyes remain in the back. Simultaneously, the rest of the Joes make their way through the emergency stairwell between the 5th and 6th floor, rushing down the stairs toward the computer room. To their surprise, they discover that the robot has successfully assembled itself, posing a new and immediate threat. To their astonishment, the assembled Cobra robot is not only fully functional, but also equipped with the ability to shoot laser beams from its eyes and hands. Panic ensues among the Joes as they scramble to avoid the laser onslaught. The fully activated Cobra robot now possesses a serious and imminent threat inside the pit. With the arms room acting as a barrier between the Joes and the activated Cobra robot, they decide to retreat to formulate a plan. Meanwhile, Clutch comes up with an idea and starts mixing something using aftershave found in the bathroom. In the arms room, Flash is under pressure, cutting it close to the deteriorating air quality. The lack of air becomes a pressing concern, hiding the urgency for the Joes to devise a strategy quickly. The sound of the robot clanking movements down the stairs becomes audible. Seizing the opportunity, Steeler creates a makeshift firebomb using cheap cologne and aftershave and throws it at the approaching robot. Meanwhile, Cobra Commander is aware that Cobra robot is heading to the surface with the intent to transmit a homing beacon. This beacon, once activated, will be picked up directional receivers, aiding Cobra in tracking and retrieving their robot. As the Tea Party attendees wonder about the aroma of the bacon and eggs, a new scent, that of an electrical fire, begins to permeate the air. Hawk quickly improvises and offers various excuses to explain the unusual smells, attempting to maintain a sense of normalcy amid the emerging disturbances. Meanwhile, on the training level, the robot, now on fire from Steeler's makeshift flare, persists in its mission. Its objective is not to eliminate the Joes, but to reach the surface. The Joes are left perplexed, unaware of the robot's true mission, and they begin to head toward the training area to investigate the disappearance and understand why the robot is no longer present. Clutch, Breaker, and Steeler actively search the training area, trying to locate the robot that disappeared after the encounter with the makeshift flare. The Joes remain vigilant, attempting to understand the robot's objectives and prevent any potential threats in my pose. In an attempt to extinguish the flames, the robot unexpectedly submerges itself into a pool, putting out the fire. However, it emerges once again, this time unleashing heavy fire at the Joes. Faced with this new threat, the Joes access the heavy armory but find themselves without ammunition, adding to the complexity of this situation. The resourceful Joes inside the elevator seize an opportunity to counter the climbing robot. They quickly send the elevator on a fast descent, intending to collide with the robot as it ascends the cables. The improvised plans aims to incapacitate it or hinder the robot's progress and buy the Joes some time to formulate a more strategic response. Facing a lack of ammunition, the Joes resort to using a large laser cannon, hoping to strike the robot. Unfortunately, the aim is off and the laser misses, causing the robot to crash through the elevator doors. Undeterred, the robot makes a run for the stairs, presenting a new challenge for the Joes as they adapt to the evolving situation. With no ammunition, the Joes find themselves in a challenging situation, forced to think creatively to stop the advancing robot. Clutch takes the initiative and starts searching for paint paint and aluminum foil. Meanwhile, the relentless robot continues his pursuit, shooting at doors with a distinct clink sound. The Joes realize the robot's objective is to reach the top and radar Cobra troops. As the robot heads towards the garage, the Joes need to formulate a plan quickly to intercept and neutralize it. Thinking on their feet, Steeler takes decisive action by throwing silver paint on the robot's head. The silver paint effectively blackens out the visual receptors on the robot, forcing it to rely solely on a radar to track the Joes. The strategic move disrupts the robot's sensors and creates an opportunity for the Joes to gain an advantage in the efforts to outmaneuver and neutralize the threat. Capitalizing on their smarts, the Joes lay aluminum foil on the floor, causing interference with the robot's radar. Misled by the reflective surface, the robot mistakes the aluminum-covered floor for the actual ground, leading it to fall 6 floors down to the computer level. As the chaos ensures with the banging, clanging, and suspicious smells, Hawk attempts to reassure the others there's nothing beneath them but the solid Staten Island. Despite Hawk's efforts to downplay the situation, suspicions grow among the people at the tea party. With time ticking away, a critical fuel situation adds urgency to the dilemma for Cobra. The robot must transmit the honing beacon within the next 10 minutes, or the Cobra troops will have to abort the mission. Despite the pressing deadline, Cobra Command insists on giving the robot the necessary time, driven by the desire for a full-scale assault on the G.I. Joe home base. The success of the robot's mission is seen as a pivotal to achieving Cobra's objective of destroying the G.I. Joe Command Center. In a moment of relief, Flash, Stalker, and Snake Eyes successfully escape the arms room. As they emerge, they are met with the seemingly incapacitated robot, giving the impression that it is in pieces and no longer a direct threat. Despite appearing in pieces, the robot head reveals a surprising twist by sprouting tentacles and attempting to climb up the shaft. Flash takes action using his laser rifle to knock down the seemingly incapacitated robot. To their surprise, the robot head falls off, releasing a swarm of insect-like robots. Breaker quickly identifies the released insect-like robots as mobile transmitters designed by Cobra with the specific purpose of locating the pit. Realizing the imminent threat to their base, the Joes must act swiftly and decisively. They spread out and locate every mobile transmitter, understanding that if any of them remain active, the security of the pit will be compromised. The urgent task at hand is to smash every single transmitter to safeguard their base from Cobra surveillance. As the Cobra forces face a critical timeline, Cobra Commander formulates a decision. With only 3 minutes before the situation reaches a critical point, some members of Cobra express the need to return to the base immediately. However, Cobra Commander insists on waiting out the full 3 minutes. On the computer level of the pit, the Joes are actively engaging in a mission to destroy all of the spider-like transmitter released by the Cobra robot. Recognizing the severe threat to the pit security, the Joes work diligently to eliminate every one of these mobile transmitters, ensuring that Cobra's attempt to locate their base is thwarted. The stakes are high, and the Joes are determined to protect their home base from Cobra surveillance. With Breaker successfully restoring the sensors, the Joes discover that one of the spider-like transmitter is still unaccounted for. Their search intensifies, and they pinpoint the elusive bug, finding it positioned within inches of the service gate in the motor pool area. Aware that one transmitter bug has eluded their efforts, the Joes are on edge, anticipating Cobra's potential tracking capabilities. However, a surprising turn of events occurs when someone spots the transmitter bug, initially mistaking it for a real bug. In a decisive move, Scarlett intercepts one of the bug transmitters and swiftly crushes it under her foot, putting an end to the threat. Her quick and effective action ensures the elimination of the remaining transmitter, securing the pit from potential Cobra surveillance. The Joe can now breathe a sign of relief, knowing that they have successfully thwarted Cobra's attempt to track their base. With the robot's mission concluded and the threat neutralized by the Joes, Cobra is compelled to vacate the area. Faced with the imminent depletion of their helicopter fuel, Cobra has no choice but to abandon their plans and withdraw. The Joes' successfully defense of the pit not only secures their base, but also forces Cobra to retreat, preventing any further immediate threat. The outcome makes a victory for the Joes as they successfully repel Cobra's intrusion and safeguard their stronghold. Next issue, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, Volume 1, Issue 4, Operation Wingfield.